Hello everyone, GK here. Welcome to the minigame review for Mario Party 2. Same as before, these will be done between 1 to 3 sentences per game before I give them a rating. And again, these are based off of my opinion and how I feel they fit in the game's meta. Generally speaking, the games are better overall, and as a result, I might be a bit more harsh on some games compared to last time, but let's dive into it, starting with the 4-player games. Lava Tile Isle. Starting off strong with a good arena survival game, although I personally find it a little odd that the moving platforms do not move any of the players, it's still really fun. B+. Hot Rope Jump. Updating this to an endurance last man standing style game was a massive improvement from Mario Party 1. A+. Shell Shocked. Although the controls take a little getting used to, the skill ceiling in this one is high, and the varying arenas requiring different strategies makes this an intense fight. A+. Toad in the Box. A surprisingly decent balance of skill and RNG, but despite that, the game is still pretty basic and not that interesting. C-. Mecha Marathon. I'll always be biased in favor of mashers, plus the simultaneous A and B press is different enough to make it stand out, and I like the presentation. B. Roll Call. This is straight up not fun, and it drags on. F. Abandoned Ship. A masher with obstacles to avoid. Good concept, but a bit awkward to control, especially the ending rush, as I swear there's some amount of rubber banding. C. Platform Peril. The additional obstacles compared from the Mario Party 1 version makes this a bit better, but I still hate the isometric angle. C+. Totem Pole Pound. This whole game is decided upon who can jump on the soonest frame the game lets you after the word start is played. D-. Bumper Balls. Additional stage variation, particularly the ice one, can give players some means to push for a win. However, ties are still extremely commonplace. B-. Bombs Away. One of the best games from Mario Party 1, made even better with the addition of bullet bills and the giant blast at the end. S. Tipsy Tourney. Although this is another good one from Mario Party 1, because no improvements were made and the minigames are generally better here in 2, makes this one seem comparatively more plain. B+. Honeycomb Havoc. This is probably one of the most divisive games in Mario Party 2. But personally, I love how calculated you have to be and how much you have to think ahead, anticipate your opponents, and react accordingly. B. Hexagon Heat. Oh yeah, one of the most iconic of the N64 Mario parties, and probably one of the most liked. Aesthetically, I prefer Mushroom Mix-Up, but the lava will make losing players leave the arena faster, so the game actually flows better here in 2. S. Skateboard Scamper. Even though they added some different obstacles and slopes, I still don't like this one, given that you're still on rails. D+. Slot Car Derby. I know people will think I'm overly generous to this game, but I still love this one. I like the new tracks, and I still appreciate the level of skill this one requires. S. Shy Guy Says. Just as intense and still as great. The addition of the Lakitu timer also helps players understand the timing better, plus the Shy Guy seems more devious this time around. S. Sneak and Snore. This is an intense red light green light game where it balances the intimidation and wanting to stop for the chain chomp against getting ahead of the other players. A-. Dizzy Dancing. Very boring and basic. Whoever gets the right direction first can win this within 3 seconds. D-. Tile Driver. I just don't find this one interesting. The path of solving this is very obvious, and this is mostly just a short hop ground pound race. C-. Deep Sea Salvage. This one's okay. Very basic coin collecting game, but being able to position yourself to take coins from others is pretty fun. C. And now let's move on to the 1v3s. Bowled Over. This one's pretty amusing, though the limited mobility of the 3 can be pretty frustrating, but it is by design. C. Crane Game. The heavy stakes from Mario Party 1 are removed, and thus this game is now barely notable and basically free for the 1 player. C-. Move to the music. A somewhat basic but still pretty fun rhythm game, though only having 2 rounds makes this somewhat difficult for the 1 to win. C+. Bomb Barrage. I'm not sure if this worked better on original hardware, but as it stands with modern controllers, the 3 controlling the power of their throw is extremely inconsistent. You either throw full force or you drop it right in front of you. F. Look Away. This one is great. I like the presentation and it's really even for either side to win. Plus, a lot of mind games will happen in this. A-. Shock, Drop, or Roll. I find this one fun for both sides. Unfortunately, it's heavily weighted towards the 3 if they know what they're doing. D. Lights Out. It's kind of awkward to hit the other players as the 1, but when the light flickers off, it can be fun to stalk the others in the dark. C. Fillet Relay. This one's really fun and surprisingly deep. Having to mash to speed up, but not go too fast, avoid obstacles, and also attempt to block your opponent. There is a slight tilt towards the 1 due to the passing animation for the 3. This might have been a better 2v2 game, but this is still great either way. A. Archer Rival. The only way for the 3 to win this game is for the 1 to be comatose, but at least the controls are not broken. D. Quicksand Cache. This one is pretty fun for both sides and quite chaotic for the 3. Interestingly, each of the 3 players act independent and earn their own coins instead of pooling them together. This concept for 1v3s were dropped after this one. B-. Rainbow Run. This is minutely better than it was in Mario Party 1, but it's still bottom tier garbage. F. And now we go to the 2v2s, which, unlike in Mario Party 1, there's actually a real amount of them, so we can get some real variety during a game. Toad Bandstand. Although this works better as a 2v2 compared to what it was in Mario Party 1, this is still a lame game. And I don't know if I just don't understand the timing or if playing online messes up my inputs, but it doesn't seem very accurate. D. Bobsled Run. This one is still just as good as it was in Mario Party 1. Plus, it includes an amusing little cosmetic change. A+. Handcar Havoc. This one is also just as good as it was before, although this one adds jumps to the mix as well as generally being more pleasant to look at. A-. Balloon Burst. I still appreciate the rhythm that's required to be good at this one. However, I prefer this as an individual effort as opposed to a team game. C+. Sky Pilots. This is one of only 2 minigames where each team member does something different. As the pilot, this one is quite fun, but if you're flapping, it can be a bit monotonous and boring. B-. Speed Hockey. This is peak, simple but effective. As speed increases, your reaction time and coordination will be put to the test. A+. Cake Factory. This one gets old pretty quick, and really isn't that much fun. Not to mention, as the speed increases, timing the A-press is more frustrating than anything. D-. Magnet Carta. Being able to maneuver with the card does take some getting used to. Once you do, however, this can be a decently fun game trying to rush the center chest ahead of the other team. C+. Looney Lumberjacks. Simple but senseless. At least the game does have a decent flow to it, unlike Dungeon Dash. C-. Torpedo Targets. This is the other game with different roles on the team. This one is done a bit better because the players shooting the torpedoes can actually direct where they are going. B+. Destruction Duet. Probably the most senseless and frustrating of minigames. F. Dungeon Dash. It sucked in Mario Party 1 and it sucks here. D-. And now let's move on to the battle games, which has since become a series staple. These minigames are often the most intense you can play in a game. Grab Bag. This one would be okay, however one player is randomly given a golden mushroom which will give them an unfair advantage. And if it gets discovered, everyone is just going to dogpile whoever has it. Plus the controls are pretty awkward on this. D+. Bumper Balloon Cars. The awkward controls in this works in the game's favor. There is a lot of chaotic fun and saltiness to be had. B-. Raking 'em In. Dealing with the mushroom hitboxes and how they slide can make this game frustrating at times, and occasionally golden mushrooms will be placed towards a particular player's favor. D. Day at the races. Although there are hidden metrics which can have an effect on the results, personally I don't mind that too much. As the game starts, it's quite intense watching your character go. B+. Facelift. The addition of extra character faces adds quite a bit of variety to an already great game. Plus, as a battle minigame, it will bring out the perfectionist in everyone. A. Crazy Cutters. The scoring accuracy still makes little sense. And add the occasional insta-lose glitch and you have a test of frustration. D+.
It's on the screen. I can't wait to get last.
What?
Well,
What happened?
You went in a circle.
I moved down right.
Hop the bomb. Adding the need to catch the bomb no longer makes this a senseless button masher. And like how it was in Mario Party 1, being able to read the room is very important. A. Bowser's Big Blast. What can I say about this game? The height of skill, the insane levels of intensity, great presentation, and probably the most iconic Mario Party minigame there is. S. Mario Party 2 introduced the concept of item games, which only reappeared in Mario Party 3 before being dropped, and duel games, the 1v1 games with wagering that's also become a series staple, barring Mario Party 4 and not being able to duel for stars until Mario Party 5. However, in my opinion, the biggest weakness of the item and duel games is that they are all board specific, and playing the exact same kind of game on a board can get pretty old. Plus, it can have an effect on the game's meta. For example, a board with an easy item game can make landing on item spaces more valuable if you can reliably pick your preferred item. And for duel games, since they are the same as well, if you know a particular player is bad at the board's duel game or you are really good at it, then you will know ahead of time to wager more or less, as opposed to future games in the series where you wager first and then a duel minigame is selected randomly so you won't know the skill set you need beforehand. I'll start with the item games in quick succession as there's not really much to say for any of them. Pirate Land's Roll Out the Barrels and Horror Land's Coffin Congestion, I'd give both of them Ds as they are essentially a free item pick and not fun. Western Land's Give Me a Break and Mystery Land's Mallet Go Round get Cs. If you know the timing, you can probably get the item you want, but there is room for error. Space Land's Hammer Slammer, I'd give a C-. It can be kind of fun judging how much power you need to give the hammer, but it can be frustrating at times. Bowser Land's Bowser Slots gets an F. Slot machines are not fun, especially when you lose more often than not and get no item. And now for the duels. They are pretty simplistic, but I often find that works in a duel's favor. Pirate Land's Saber Swipes. The need of speed and accuracy will put most players to the test. B. Western Land's Quick Draw Corks. A timing classic. A duel in the truest sense of the word. A. Space Land's Time Bomb. Pretty basic timing game, though not bad. C+. Mystery Land's Psychic Safari. I'm biased towards mashers, but I will admit people with this skill will run away with this game over those who don't. C. Horror Land's Mushroom Brew. This one would be okay, but both players react to the same prompt, which can often lead to ties. D. Bowser Land's Rock Paper Mario. Leave your skill set at the door, nothing can beat an RNG duel game. B. And those were the games. Overall, quite a step up from Mario Party 1. Most people believe Mario Party 2 is where this series really started to hit its stride, despite the N64 jankiness. I would also like to hear what you all thought of this, and where you would rank some of these games differently than me. If you're interested in Mario Party, follow me on Twitch as I play it every Wednesday and Friday. All the games in the series from 1 through 8, and now including Super Mario Party. If you're interested in a more long-form overview, the tier list stream I did for Mario Party 2, as well as my VOD channel, should be appearing on screen now. I appreciate you all watching this, and have a good one.